do you sing on the demos? Or
me sing? No, I.
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I profoundly hate karaoke.
Hello there, I'm Benny, and I had the absolute pleasure and honor to talk with Tuomas and Floor from the band Nightwish about their upcoming album, Yesterwynde. We talked about the process of bringing a Nightwish album to life, from the first inspiration to the fully produced songs. Enjoy! Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Benny. I'm a musician and a producer from Germany, and I make YouTube videos for Thomann Music.
Okay.
Could you maybe give me a guide through the process of bringing a Nightwish song to life, from the first inspiration or idea to the fully produced tracks? I had the chance to listen to already. They were great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, inspiration is the word. You just mentioned it. That needs to come first. There needs to be a story or a feeling to build the music around to. I can't remember a single occasion that I would have written a song which is based on just jamming around and trying to find something that sounds nice on the keyboard or piano. So there needs to be a storyline that I start building the music on top of for. For example, on the new album, there's a song about these castaway kids in the Southern Pacific, a track called The Children of Atta. And when I read that story from a book by Rutger Bregman called Humankind, I was instantly inspired in a big time. It's like, why doesn't the world know this story? I mean, everybody needs to know this and cherish what these kids went through and how they survived. There's a lesson to be learned here. So after I decided, okay, I'm going to write a song about this real life event, I just start thinking about different ways of putting the music on top of it. What kind of melodies will it have? Is it a metal song? Is it a ballad? Could we use some folkish element? Okay, since it's located in the Southern Pacific, maybe we could use some native voices, like native chants, that kind of stuff, which ended up being on the song. And that's how the process starts. And once I'm happy with the music, I start writing the final lyrics on top of all that. And at that point, I present the song to the other members of the band. And then we start the process all again. And I deliberately leave a lot of room into the song for the other members of the band to bring their own personalities into the song. That's super important.
Cool. So the first thing that comes to you is the melody. You have an idea of a melody or something, a piano track or something like this, which fit to the topic.
Exactly.
Instead of
melodies, chord patterns, the structure of the song. I toy around with those ideas a long time until I get it just right to fit the theme of what the song is about in my head. That's how it always starts. And then when I get the melodies right, that it reflects what the lyrics are going to be like, then I write the text and then give the song to the band. So I suppose you're putting together some sort of demo on your own to give it to them? Yes, I use my Korg Kronos sequencer for that. I never use any computers. I just suck at everything so bad. So old school way of doing things. Just 2 albums ago on Endless Forms Most Beautiful, that would be 2015, I still used floppy disks to record the demo. Okay. I heard in another video of you were using some dictaphone or something to listen to the songs again. Do you still use it for? I still use it for this album as well. The way I work is that I usually spend all morning and afternoon writing the songs, and I put all of the ideas, melodies, chords, whatever, lyrical ideas on my dictaphone, like this. And then in the evening, when I have my little time off, I go out for a smoke or whatever I do, I just keep on listening to them. And the sound quality is so crappy on purpose that if I get out of this dictaphone thing, it means that there has to be some potential there. Yeah, some sort of reality check. So yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that from the studio. So listen to it another day and on a crappy sounding. That's cool.
And also
So
never ever make a demo that's too good. I think we have been guilty of that in the past. But if the demo is too good, anything you do after that, once you start the actual recording process, everything's going to sound like shit. And the most annoying sentence in the world is, it was so much better in the demo.
yeah. So then we have this this demo with no vocals, I guess, just keyboard and the melody on top and some lyrics aside, or do you sing on the demos or?
Me sing, no. I I play all the vocal lines with a piano sample.
Okay. Do you listen to this demo together as a band, or do you send them separately to them, and you'll get feedback individually?
Always together, and that's probably the most harrowing moment of the whole process of doing an album. Like, I enjoy creating these songs by myself in my little own microcosm, but then when the child needs to see the light and that she needs to be presented to the other members of the band, I'm terrified, because I so much want them to feel what I feel. I want them to like it so that we would have a wonderful journey onwards and they would feel as inspired and motivated about the songs as I am. And if I could see from their faces that they're like, oh, this is not very good, I would be devastated. But luckily, that has never happened. And with this new album, we listened to it. I remember that it was in May 2022 on an off day of our American tour in a hotel room. And I played the songs, the demo of them, and I can see it from their faces that everybody was like really intrigued, motivated. They got immediately what the album wanted to say, and what a relief.
I can imagine. And what a cool way to present your songs to your band and get immediate feedback and the reaction in their faces. So it must be a relief to you. Yeah, nice.
Really
At this point in the process, do you already have some sort of arrangement in your head how it should be totally, or is it just okay, let's see where we can get from here, influences from the other band members, or is there just some giant picture already painted?
I do have a very clear picture of how the song should sound like in the end and what the song structure is, what the melodies and the riffs are about. But like I said, I deliberately leave a lot of room for the other band members to bring their own thing into it. I never touch the drum fills or the guitar solos or anything like that. But I do have the basic idea of almost everything, how it should be. That being said, I'm completely open-minded always for better ideas. And sometimes the songs don't change that much from the original demo, and sometimes they take a huge U-turn and go somewhere completely else that I had intended to. And at that point, it's called kill your darlings. Like, I've grown up to hear this song this way for the last 2 years, and now but somebody says that it could be better this way, and I'm like, yeah, it is, I know, but it still hurts.
Yeah. While writing these songs, do you consider the key the song should be in fitting the vocalists or the playability on a guitar, or is it just about the lyrics feeling what you are in?
The vocal range is maybe the most important thing. Write the song into a scale that highlights the vocalist's fortes, so to say. And also, if there's a certain kind of guitar riff that can only play it from E or A, then you write it into that. So yeah, I do keep these things in mind.
Okay. So how do you start the recording process after this moment? Using your demo as guide tracks, or you start completely new, you get to the rehearsal space with the band, or what's the next steps?
We go to the rehearsal room with the whole band, and we spend there about a month, like we did with this album, just playing every day for hours and hours, learning the songs, arranging them, rearranging, rehearsing some more, coming up with some new ideas. It's the old school way of doing an album. And after we think that we have everything done, then we record some really rough demos in the rehearsal room, then listen to them again in the evening. How does it sound? Could we do some things even better? And once we think that, okay, this is it, there's nothing more than we can give to these songs, we start the actual recording process, which always starts with the drums.
Regarding the orchestral parts in your songs, there are a huge amount of instruments which have to be considered their space in the production and frequencies and stuff. At what stage in the process these things come to your mind and have to be sorted out?
I've said this before, but the way I consider the orchestra and the choir is that they would be playing the stuff that I would be playing if I had the best keyboards in the world and 80 hands. So they have to be integrated into the music. The orchestra and the choirs are not there just because it's cool to have them. They have to complement the story. And I think we have nailed it on the past few albums. But it's not easy for the mixing engineer. It really isn't, because on this new album, there's a few tracks with over 600 tracks in them. And
okay.
Getting all that in balance, remembering that it's still a band album, it's not an orchestral album, but there's so much cool stuff going on in the orchestra. Within that, different choirs, you still want to have the kick from the guitars and the basses and the drums, how to get it all in balance. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. And we spent about 4.5 months just to mix the stereo version for this album. And the Atmos version is still being mixed.
Yeah, I can imagine that. That's a lot of work. How does it feel to hear your songs in arrangement played by an actual orchestra in the world famous Abbey Road Studios in London? I know you've done this a couple times now, but is it still exciting to hear it for the first time played by this enormous ensemble?
It's ridiculously exciting. It still is. We have been using the same arrangers and the orchestrators and even some of the players since 2003, since the Once album. So it's a heartwarming feeling to go into the studio and still see those same players and some singers who just wanted to come there because it's a Nightwish session. And these are the best musicians in the world who play classical music, film scores, they play in musicals, like really top end stuff, and they request on coming on our sessions to play on a new Nightwish. That's really touching. So yes, every time we go there, it's one of the highlights of the recording processes.
So the arrangement, are you involved in arranging for the orchestra, or you just give an arranger the songs that do your thing, I'll have a look at it afterwards, or is it a constant work in progress for both of you? How is this? How is the classical arrangement coming together?
I'm terrible at notation. I can read notes, not so much write it, but that's why we have these professionals. This time, Mr. James Sherman from London, the gentleman who has conducted all of our albums since 2003. And this time, Pip Williams wasn't available, so we passed the torch to James, and he did a wonderful job. And I have a really clear picture in my head of how the orchestra should sound like in the songs and the choirs. But like I said, I'm terrible at notation. So the way it worked was that James would write a score and send me a Sibelius file, which plays back the stuff that he had written. And then we would just call each other almost on a daily basis for half a year. Like, is this a good idea? It is. Perfect. This not so. Okay, how about that? How about this? Let's move on to the next song. So it was very intense and very interesting process.
And probably very exciting.
Very exciting, and something I could never do alone. So feeling extremely privileged to have these people at London End to work with us.
All right. Can you tell any interesting anecdotes or stories from this recording process in London, which for me, I think could be the most exciting part there? Are you alone there? Is the band with you, or how does this work?
Just the level of professionality that was going on. Just in the studio room, there was the engineer who was recording everything. Then we had conductor, James Shearman. Then we had two guys using Pro Tools and doing live editing immediately after every take. They would take notes and edit the parts. Then there was a conductor's assistant who would be following the scores, making sure that everything gets recorded, everything gets being played right, because James is downstairs conducting the orchestra. He cannot concentrate on everything. And then we had a guy over there who would be bringing us sandwiches and coffees all the time. It worked so beautifully. It was unbelievable. And another thing was that Jonathan Allen, who recorded the orchestras, he had all the stories in the world because he had been recording so many Hollywood soundtracks. For example, the first Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. The stories that guy had. And this is where all my heroes are, like film music genres. And immediately when I would say, like, I really like James Newton Howard. Yeah, I know James. He's a good friend of mine. And then the stories would come and I'm like, wow, where am I?
Awesome. Sounds awesome. How and are you planning to take these massive sounds from the studio on the road with you in a technical way? Are you taking some Pro Tools sessions with you, or can you sample stuff on your keyboard? What's the approach? Because it seems tough to me.
Yeah, it's the only way to perform these songs live is to use backing tracks, and that's what we have been doing for the past more than 20 years. Because leaving out all of the orchestras, choirs, it would just take too much away from the songs. And then again, there's no way that we could play all the shows with a live orchestra. So the only way is to use backing tracks, which I think is completely okay since there are still 6 members of the band on stage doing everything live. But of course, it's quite restricting because you have to do all the songs into a click, so not much room for improvising, but that is the Nightwish way, and that's the way we do it.
Mm-hmm. When listening through the album, I stumbled across The Day Off, and I was pleasantly surprised by some panoramic arpeggiated synth sound. Is there a special intention or meaning to this decision, or was it just fitting?
Just fitting. You always have to listen to the song, how it wants to be presented. You want to read the lyrics. How do you want to be highlighted? And for this particular song, I just felt that 80s synth arpeggios would be a perfect match. I mean, who doesn't like synth arpeggios? They're the best sound in the world.
Yeah, in like more songs, there are similar stuff. I loved it. I was very surprised to hear. It's like, oh, it's perfectly fitting. So, thank you. Very nice. When reading the lyrics, a lot of the songs are kind of facing the past, at least in my understanding. Did this happen by choice, or is it more of a coincidence during the writing, or am I totally wrong here? Which also be an option.
Right on the right tracks. The album is called Yesterwynde, so it goes back into the times of yesterday. Time is the major theme going throughout the whole album. Time, memories, and mortality.
You're doing this stuff for several decades now. How do you approach staying innovative and fresh in your composition and production while still retaining the quintessential Nightwish sound?
The world is such a hugely inspirational place. I cannot think of a scenario that I would run out of ideas for songs. or inspiration for creating music. There's so much going on. So that's never going to be a problem.
Perfect. What do you hope your fans will feel or experience when they listen to your album?
This album is a huge one, even on a Nightwish scale, so it'll take time to get into it. There's so much on those 12 songs that's hidden beneath the surface, that you have to dive deep into to find. And it's going to take many listenings to realize everything that's going on. But if you're patient and you have the time to go through it again and again, I think you will be highly rewarded in the end.
There's in modern pop music and other genres, young artists are always called to short songs, 2 minute 30 maximum. You need to start with the chorus. It needs to run on Spotify as well. And your music and your also the new album is the completely opposite of that, which I like. Is this also on purpose, or what are your thoughts on this topic?
We've been doing things this way for almost 28 years now, so why the hell would we change anything at the moment? But it's really tedious to me that you have to do a song like under 4 minutes all the time. It has to have a chorus, it has to talk about somebody's love life or broken relationships. It's just tedious and boring to me. There is a time and place for those songs as well, but if you have a story you want to tell and it needs some time to be told in a proper way, you just take your time and the song lasts however it needs to last. As simple as that.
That's beautiful. That's also a beautiful ending for my list of questions. I would be done here if that's cool for you. I thank you very, very much for your time and for this new music.
This was a lovely chat. Thank you, Benny. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'd like to start with some general questions before diving deep into the new album, if that's okay for you.
Sure.
What is the coolest part? Yeah, okay. Any issues?
No. I know you want to ask me about my microphone, and I have to think of what the name of it is, but we'll get to that later. We'll,
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Sorry.
What is the coolest part of being the singer of a globally touring metal band?
Yeah, God, the coolest part. I mean, it's a whole collection of cool things that make you want to do it and keep doing it. But first and foremost, I guess it's for the love of music, to be able to perform for so many people in so many countries in the world that all share this love for this music. That is a huge gift. That is the most, something to never be forgotten. So take for granted. That's it.
Nice. Are there any exhausting or annoying parts?
I mean, the traveling itself gets annoying and exhausting. Yeah, I don't get excited about the inside of a hotel room anymore, or when I see an airport, like, oh God, there we go again. After 25 years plus, you've seen it all. But so I guess that's the part. But getting somewhere, getting into a new place and meeting new people and new cultures, that is very exciting.
Cool, thank you. What is more fun, playing big festivals with a lot of other bands or your own headliner tour?
There's a charm to both. And I guess you address the audiences differently as well. You adapt the set list. The way I speak with the audience becomes differently. But we have your own audience. You know that everybody bought a ticket just to see you. Whereas a festival, there might still be a lot of people that are, but Nightwish is not for me. And I kind of still feel like I want to convince them that yes, we are, because maybe you have an idea about us that is not correct. yeah, and share the stage with so many other bands. It was fun to watch others or to meet others. So there's something there too. So there's yeah, something for both.
So no favorite so far.
I have no favorites. No.
Okay. The next one is a personal question from you. What is your karaoke song?
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I profoundly hate karaoke. With
Like
a
most
heart.
musicians do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no. So I don't do karaoke myself, and I guess listening to others drunk attempt to sing songs, it's not for my entertainment.
Very good. All right. Could you guide me through the process of bringing a Nightwish album to life from your perspective, which is, I suppose, a bit different than Tuomas's as the main songwriter?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I come in much later, and I mean, I write my own music too. I have a solo career. I've always had bands before Nightwish where I was part of the writers, and so I understand the process that he goes into, and I also understand where where the difference is then with Nightwish, where my biggest asset is giving a voice and heart to what he has been writing, and that I do by try to use my voice as colorful as I can, in order to really that fits the music. The songs are always the guideline to what needs to come out for me, and I try to emotionally connect to the song so that I can do the actual storytelling from the heart, that the words are not just phrased well, and that the articulation's well, and the timing, and of course that it's in tune, but that I tell the story so that you as a listener will feel more than even understand or hear what it is that we talk about. And so that I find my main asset into what I do. So Thomas prepares all the songs into demos, so that the whole process of writing and late nights work or mid in the night, I have an idea, all that stuff, that's all him. We come in when he presents us with the demos, and then he has already written the lyrics. He has an idea of the phrasing for them. The piano plays the vocal melody, and of course, then there's the rest up for our interpretation. Because of course, when Kaitsu starts to play the drums for real, it will not sound like the drum computer that the woman used for his demos, and that's where Nightwish becomes Nightwish. But yeah, we first need to hear the songs and understand what he's been writing. And I don't know how much of the songs you've been hearing, if you have the chance to hear the album, or just you have. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, then you know that just like most Nightwish albums, it's not something you just play and it's like, yeah, okay, I got it. There's so much happening. Yeah. So that is the first thing that happens, that I really want to kind of fan what he's been doing, understand, and I usually, it comes with a certain impatience, like I want to understand already. Then again, there's a charm to hearing something for the very first time. There's only one time you can do that. So that's that, and there I have to get familiar with the songs. It's not just learning them. But I kind of need to put it into steps. So first I need to get a grasp of the melodies, and then I get a grasp of the lyrics, and then I put them together, and then I get an idea of the structure of the song, and then I get an idea of how I want to sing it, and then comes the storytelling. So that I've been doing in all the stages, and this time I was pregnant when we started recording the album. So with the album rehearsals last July, I unfortunately could not be there. I was too far in and too tired to be there. So I unfortunately had to skip. We even thought that, okay, we're going to rehearse, and then the first thing we record this time is the vocals. I'm usually the last of the band members, But now, because we have a good demo, it's all in time anyway. Let's do the vocals first, because I'll be due by the time that we would record. But unfortunately, I was already too tired. I couldn't do it anymore. So I recorded the vocals 6 weeks after my daughter got born, which was a challenge by itself as well, because female body goes through quite the roller coaster. But then I really got familiar with the songs, and of course my head was completely up in baby world, so it was interesting to see if both physically as mentally would have been able to really just dive back in. But the music just kind of draws you back in, and it was very easy for me to just say, okay, I got this, and the voice was just like, yeah, sure. It was nice with a little break. I don't think I've ever sang so easy and so fast. And it's not a contest. It's really not about being fast, but it's really nice when it just comes, and that it did.
So basically, there's no parental leave for a singer.
No, there's no such thing. No, and
Yeah.
sick leave also. It's not like you write a note from the doctor and says, "Sorry, guys, I can't do it today." No. Nope.
Do you listen to these first demos together as a band, or does he send them out individually?
No, this time we sat down together. Beforehand, before the pandemic kind of ruined our regular pace of things, he would write things right after a break from a world tour, and then send the demos out, and then we would start, contacting and rehearsing. But this time, he wrote the album during the pandemic, which was supposed to be the time that we did the Human Nature, so our previous album's world tour. Yeah. So we still had that world tour to do, but he already had a new album. So during the tour, mostly during festivals in the summer, we would gather in hotel rooms and listen to a couple of songs. So he would. It's not like we got everything served at once, which I think is good. It was like 2 or 3 songs at the time, with the lyrics, with his stories about it, and I have fond memories of that, because we would just gather in a room somewhere. So there are recordings in Germany, there are recordings of us in France and different countries. Because I've also been playing, like I made some voice memos for some phrasing with the lyrics or notes, and they're all in those weeks in that summer in different countries. Really.
Oh. So he gets an immediate reaction from your faces and your expressions about the songs.
Yes.
That's kind of tough for him, I guess, but great fun also, probably.
Yeah, that's very empathic of you towards him, because indeed he was very, very tensed about it. He thought it was very exciting, and we know each other so well that even if you think you can maybe hold a poker face in case he did like it, he would already know. Okay. But fortunately, he wrote a album again, so there was eventually, and of course, nothing to worry about.
That's nice. So, and after that, everyone is basically going home and learning the material after he presented them. And the whole band is saying, "Okay, let's do this." That's the preparation step.
Kind of like that. I mean, we listened to it during that Human Nature World Tour, so we still first had to finish that. And between that, I got both cancer as got pregnant, so there was a lot of things happening on my end in the middle as well. So it wasn't like, okay, now we listen to the demos, the focus goes to the new album. Not at all. We listened to it, and then we kind of had to put it away for a while until the summer after. Yeah. And that was not because of me, but because of the world tour and the circumstances. But we would have not been able to record anything earlier, because July last year we started rehearsing, and June last year we played our last show. So there was no time in between. Yeah.
Yeah, tight schedule. So yeah. Is there any sheet music or lead sheets or something that he provides for you with the demos, or got the lyrics, the story, the demos? Please prepare.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I learned to read notes, and I done my musical studies, but we've never communicated through notes. I listen, and I remember like that. Yeah.
Nice.
So the sheets are more for the choirs later on, and the orchestra. Yeah, but
Yeah.
not for us. And I guess Kaitsu, our drummer, he writes his own sheets.
Mhm.
He likes to make notes and really write stuff. But the rest of us do it by ear.
Oh, nice. I heard the album already, loved it. Songs like the Antikythera Mechanism or Spider Silk, sorry, sound very fun to perform, but also hard to learn as a vocalist. What is your process tackling this and make it sound easy, like it does?
Yeah, I guess by cutting it up, as I said, I first need to kind of get an idea of what I'm hearing, like the melodies, and then the phrasing. I can put the text in and try to just memorize, and then it's just doing. It's almost like you're programming your body to recognize, okay, this happens. In order for it to sound effortless, it never becomes effortless, but it needs to be automatic enough to make it easy and to make it flow. And so by the time that I record it, I don't have to think like, oh, now comes this or this. The body already sort of knows this comes next. And then you can start adding the most essential element. And that's the heart, the feeling, the storytelling behind it. So that is a bit of my process to do it. And every album, Thomas writes things that are definitely challenging for the vocals, whether it's very hard, it's very fast. This album has also a lot of low. That is not my core strength there. So to make it sound good, I really had to practice that a lot and play with its dynamics and you know, do I want to make it sound pretty dark or a bit lighter? And you know, there's a lot of fine tuning that can only come by just doing. Like yeah, musicians have to study. I have to study this in order to not have to think anymore by the time I sing it. Yeah.
It's very tasteful, and I especially love your use of the vibrato in the long notes. Awesome orchestration in the new album. Love it. Are the songs keys a consideration, or has there ever been a moment where you had to change a song because of the vocal range or something, especially in the low notes?
No, but that's also because Thomas really knows what to do there, and I have a very easy voice. I'm born with that, and I learned a lot about how to control it, but I'm very lucky with the tools I have, the tools at hand.
So what are the next steps? You go into the rehearsal room, which you missed this time. So you wait straight to recording, right?
Yeah.
After that. Now it's a question with a microphone. There we are.
Yeah.
Is it still the AKG C12 for your vocals?
Yes, thank heaven, you know. Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's something in my brain that does not remember these things. Apart from remembering that this is the microphone that really really fits my voice. So throughout all the years, I've been trying different kinds of things. And with every vocal recording, it was a hassle to find a microphone that really catches everything. Because I have a huge range, but I'm also very, very dynamic. And I can sing really, really loud. But if the microphone's not sensitive enough, it will miss the sparks. It will miss the whole range. If you think of a sound like a big thing, it would only catch like a part of it, and you want to get everything. But you still want the microphone to be able to do that when the power comes. So when I really start belting, when the opera really comes, and of course there are more technical machines that come along the way with compressors and the whole after. But just the microphone itself needs to survive the first violence, so to speak. And this microphone has really been it for me there. And I got to know it through Marco, our previous bass player and singer, Marco Hietala, he had one, and he took it with him to the recordings of, I would say, the first album I did together, Endless Forms. And so from there, it was like, wow, this is just, yeah. And from there, I actually purchased my own. So on this album recording, I used my own. Yeah. And it's just, yeah, like I said, the sound and then the warmth of it. Yeah, it's really, really good. It fits me.
Nice. Do you happen to know which preamps were used?
Well, there's a funny story to this. I was, of course, supposed to record the vocals in the studio, and then we would have had, and the studio is not a regular studio. We bring everything to this Boy Scouts camp in the east of Finland, and we build up our studio there for a couple of things, like vocals. But that's within Finland. You can still put a physical preamp into a car and drive it and have it there physically. I could not do that, so the plan was to bring all of that physically by car from Finland to Sweden, because I live in Sweden. And all of that was planned. And then the boat that they were supposed to be on, it got cancelled that whole day and the day after, because of, I think there was a bacteria somewhere in the water, like a Legionella threat, and they just took out all the boats. They couldn't come like that. And they, instead of waiting that out, we said, okay, then we're going to fly, and took only a part of the equipment with them. Of course, we could have then said, let's make sure we rent something here in Sweden. It's not like there are no preamps here. My preamp broke before it started smoking, so that was no go. It was an oldie too, so we actually used a digital one.
Okay.
Yeah, which was the first time. But I have to say, and maybe also because once you've worked with the physical ones, you know what to do. Also with the recording of voice, that you know that this preamp really worked. And which one it was, I can ask to send this as an information later. But those are things that this brain does not remember.
Okay, funny story. How does it feel to hear the songs and arrangement played by an actual orchestra in the world famous Abbey Road studios in London?
It's just, you know, in the modern times, with the way that you can make a demo with digital strings, so to say, they are not digital anymore either. They are the real deal. And if you have good plugins you can buy, you can make amazing sounding demos. It's almost real. So you get spoiled from the get-go, but it's still not the real thing. And especially drums, I think, is maybe one of the hardest, but still we have really good sounding demos. And once you've listened to them often enough, even if there would be mistakes in there, if there would be a wrong note, or you do demo yourself and you see something wrong, funny enough, how it works is when you listen to it often enough, that becomes your normal. So when then the real stuff comes in, it might even feel like, but now it's so different. And fortunately, that happens, because you still want the real deal to really sound, and you can say it's the Abbey Road studio, but nowadays with everything you can do technically, it could be anywhere. It could be recorded in somebody's basement, but it's not. And you know that it's the Abbey Road studio, and you know it's a really good orchestra. It's really good. Everybody is top notch, and it really joys me to say it really makes the difference. It's amazing the way it sounds, fortunately, if you know what I mean with that.
Yeah, of course. What do you hope your fans will feel or experience when they listen to this album?
Anything that comes to their minds. It's not up to me or up to us at all in Nightwish to say what that's going to be. And that's the beauty of music. And and such a multicolored layered music like Nightwish. It could be really anything, and it will all depend on your mood and the phase of life you're in, maybe the luggage you've already collected in life, whether you've had a smooth life or not. I think all of those things will really affect how you will listen to it. The lyrics are very poetic and maybe not that easy to understand at first. So I think if in a first feel, I think it's more feeling than understanding and knowing. But if you're interested and have the time, you've learned to take the time to take it all in, you'll learn, you get to know all those facets, all the layers that are hidden in there, and there's so much happening that I hope will inspire or will take you different places as well. So that question I can never answer with one word or one emotion. It's yeah, I hope a lot of it anyway. What it might be.
Is there a song that is particularly close to your heart, and why?
I guess the last track on the album, Lantern Light, is closest. It's beautiful lyrics written for Thomas's father. Beautiful love letter to life and to letting go. So if anyone, it's that one.
Thanks. Is there anything special you would like to say to the fans who are eagerly awaiting the new album?
Well, there's something special about eagerly awaiting something in a time of access to everything. Always, the wait is part of the joy, and so I would like to say from this point on, as we are now in May, enjoy that wait, because anticipation is just great. And then once it finally comes, I again would say have patience, because I know how it feels like when you have to listen to it for the first time and you kind of want to take it all in, and almost the frustrational realization that is just not possible. So take your time. Once it's there, slow down and don't try to kind of just take it all in, because it's almost impossible. Take your time and listen to it again, and take out that one song, or just, reserve several evenings, maybe in good company, to go through it and let it sink into your depths if you're, if you really want to catch it. Because once again, like I said earlier in this interview, it's so multi-layered. There's so much happening, both musically, instrumentally, in all the arrangements, but also in the lyrics. Take your time.
Thank you very much. That was a beautiful answer, and also a beautiful end to my list of questions. Thank you very much for your time.
Great. Yes, you too. You too.
I'm done so far. Stay healthy.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you.
Thank you very much for your time again.
Yeah, the same to you. Have a nice day. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.